All right, I just got this idea. It came from the disturbing video from the disturbing illusion he just did uh, today on what's today? I'm gonna pull it up. No, well, whatever today is. Um, Thursday or Wednesday, I mean, and it's what the Persians or what another group did to the Persians. It was whichever one group took, and they knew this other group worshipped cats. And since they worshipped cats and they were no harm is to be done to any cat that they see, no matter what, even in battle. So they didn't want to do any harm to the cats that the soldiers were carrying with them, and they had the symbol of a cat on their shields. So even the symbol of the cat they didn't want to hurt and destroy. So they couldn't use their weapons, because they'd be destroying the image of the cat, and they could injure one of the cats that they are carrying. And now they used animals, cherished things, against the other to get them to forfeit. You want to make these people in these other countries forfeit? And this is all my opinion. It's what I would do if I was in charge. I know what they all hate. These people in the Middle East, they don't want it on them. They ain't going to eat it, because if it gets on them or they get it in them, they go to hell. And most people knows what that is. You can look it up. What is it that the people in the Middle East think if they eat it or it gets on them, it will send them to hell? Because I got to watch what I say on here. And so I think they should take water trucks that's full of water that also has pig's blood in it. And they're to tell all of them with these water trucks, we got water trucks full of pig's blood. Do you want to go to hell, or are you going to bow down and stop? And we'll spray you with all this if you don't. And you'll go where you don't want to go. That's what Theodore Roosevelt did in one aspect. He took the bullets and he had a pig right there, killed. Or killed it right there, fresh. And it's dripping blood. He just took that bullet, and he'd look at that Muslim probably, and dip it in that bullet, rub that bullet all in that pig blood, load it up, point it, and that Muslim's sitting there. You know what he's doing. You know the word he's sitting there saying over and 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 over just before that gun goes off. Boom! And then he's all, I'm going to hell. I got this animal's blood in me now. Because that's what they were used for. Read the Bible. They were used to supposedly it's what the demons wanted. It's what they asked for. To be punished only in that manner. Because there was probably a worse one. And so they decided, they would be put in the pig. And then sent over a cliff to, where the pig dies and then that demon goes where it's supposed to because it was inside of something living, and so then by that aspect somehow, uh, the demon goes to hell. And so all these people over there believe if they get it in their mouth, in them somehow, whatever, on them, that's where they're going. You want to defeat them real quick? There's the answer. No bullets, no soldiers, just water trucks full of that animal's blood and all in it. And then just a warning, or they get sprayed. And then after they're sprayed, because they didn't want to back down, while they're sitting there hollering and screaming and saying that one word of the one above over and over and over, the others can just easily, wipe them out. Because they're sitting there, guns on the ground, screaming and hollering. They don't want to go to hell to the one up there. Because if they let them sit there and do that, then they come to their senses and then they get all mad and, well, I ain't got nothing else to lose. Nuh-uh, you don't give them that chance. War's over. People like that, use their phobias against them. You can get them to bow down real quick if it really works, if they really believe in it strong enough. You can win any war that way. So these wars can be ended with the Middle East. We can stop them in their tracks, put them in their place. We'll spray you all down with pig blood, and then we'll, wipe you out. You go where you belong, where you believe you're going. After we're done with you, because that's where you need to go anyways. Because you're bad, you do bad things that those in religion would even call evil. Because that's where that word's for. It's for religion, evil, religion. Religion created that. Good is on both sides, good and bad. Well, good and evil. Well, it's supposed to be righteous and evil. Not just the word good for religion. The righteous goes to heaven. That's the good. The bad, the evil don't. So it really don't matter. It's just bad and good. Good and bad. That's all I call it. I'll still say the other word, evil, but it's ingrained in me. Raised in it. And plus ingrained in most of us through TV and social media. So, but yeah, we can get out of this system. We can get out of all that. It's easy. If each and every person did what I'm doing when I'm done and I got it out there, each and every person, just for themselves. You don't have to be saying that you're doing it for everybody else. Just say, I'm being selfish. I'm going to do it for myself. And I'm going to see what happens. And either it does work, or I find out nothing works. We're slaves. We're stuck in it. But there's too many people that is writing affidavits and notices, and there's some going through. But I believe that they have to be notarized in order for it to fully and completely just has to go through. It can't be ignored, whatever. I forgot about it. I just read it once, not thinking, putting two and two together as I read with what I know is going on. I read it, just throw it aside, forget about it. But that's your evidence. You got to videotape all that you got, all your evidence, everything you're going to send, all the affidavits, that you're sending. And that's for this one, that's for that one, and it's for that one, and they're all the same. But it lets people know that you did that. Videotape yourself, walking into the post office to deliver all those and have them each one paid for. Documentation. I can have documentation on myself. I can create documentation for myself to have for my defense, my protection. They don't want people to know this. That's why they say, oh, they do whatever they want to in them courtrooms to you. There's nothing you can do because you're illiterate to justice, how it works, the laws. You're unintelligent on it. You don't know it. You're not doing any research. You're not checking to make sure. You're just going off of what these other psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, they're also psychopaths, narcissists and sociopaths, the non-violent ones and the violent ones. And that's what we're ran by. Think about it. Violence is part of the job description. You got to get violent to get a hold of someone and get them to do what you want. And who do they got to hire that'll be violent? It's got to be mostly sociopaths. Because they have to be okay with putting their hands on another person, another human being, for any reason, any excuse, any assumption, any presumptions, any suspicions. It don't matter. Because that's what we live under. Statutory color of law versus natural common law. And you'll get the difference. You'll find out what we're under. Statism versus agorism. Or statism versus common law, natural law. It'll still give you what you need out of that. That tells you what's what. You get a better explanation after running the first ones I said. Agorism and statism. Freedom and statism. Natural law and statism. Versus, it's easy to do, easy to look up. I'm giving it to you. You don't have to be ignorant like they want you to be. Those you back want you to be ignorant. They want you to be stupid. You know what word goes with stupid? You know how they say stupid can't be fixed? It's broken. Do you know what we call people who are broken? Or used to, but we're not allowed to say that word anymore? That's what a stupid person is. I'd rather be called unintelligent, ignorant, rather than, dumb, whatever, rather than stupid. Because that's why they say stupid is and stupid does. Because stupid is that R word that everyone was taught to hate. So these people who are voters, they're broken. In my opinion, they're stupid. They can't see past what they've been ingrained to be for. They can't see outside of that box and say, wait a minute. Some of them starting to, and not enough. And say, wait a minute, let me step back. Let me look at what they're all doing. And let me look at how everything's supposed to be done. Going on. Working. None of it's working how it's supposed to. None of it. Lawfare and slap suits destroyed the justice system. The justice system was not created to be upon lawfare and slap suits. And all these lawyers knows it, every one of them, or they would not be enforcing slap suits and lawfare as law, part of law, when it comes to crimes or whatever. They just want to slap stuff on people, slap a lawsuit on them, hell. Lawfare, we'll do it in a different way, where it's fair for the justice system, but it ain't fair for the one who's supposed to be innocent. Innocent in the beginning. Okay, you're innocent. We didn't see you do it, even though someone else said they saw you do it. We're going to gather up all the information, because we got cameras everywhere now, Ring doorbell cameras and all that, everywhere. We're going to gather up all the information, do it the way the justice system's supposed to work. Lawfare, it don't work that way. Then take it all to the prosecutor. Prosecutor looks at it all. And then, well, I'll see what the judge says, because it kind of looks to me like we may need to write a warrant and bring them in, and that's what the judge is for. And so the prosecutor goes to judge. The judge looks at it, and they dispute, talk about it, and see what can be done or can't be. And then there'll be a warrant. You're guilty somehow, more than likely. Here's a warrant. Go send them to go get them. But there's a sit outpost waiting outside your property for you to either get home from work or leaving to work. And catch you out there. Not bring it to your home, disturbing your property, destroying your property, causing trauma to your family, your kids, when they have no right to. They have no right to a lot of stuff they're doing, especially when it comes to CPS. If they're your biological children, you didn't adopt them, the CPS, that system, they're not supposed to have anything to do with you. They're not supposed to be coming after your kids. There has to be solid evidence first that the prosecutor is given by actual investigators, cops, that have seen it, noticed it. And then, but by how law is supposed to work, they can't question the kids without their parents there. So the kids can't be questioned by the cops. They're not old enough. They can be somehow tricked into saying things, admitting things that didn't happen to help the prison industrial complex get another body in there to make money. Or two, both parents. Stick the kids in the juvenile, state-sanctioned and funded juvenile. More money, another body in there. We need more money, more food, bedding, whatever. Oh, it's a lot of money. I wonder what they feed them kids in them juveniles. If it's actual regular food that they feed everybody out here, they get that, and the people in jail or prison don't. We're all supposed to be supposed to be treated equally under the law, under how the jail system is to work. Same thing with underage sex. Two kids caught having sex, they're underage, both of them, but they're not going to juvenile for breaking a crime. They're a criminal now. Or if it is consensual, but just because the other one's older than that one, him or her, and that one that's underage was consensual, did want to, but doesn't get in trouble for having underage sex. having sex under the age of 18. That's illegal. But he or she don't get in trouble. That's hypocrisy. You would think with the juvenile as part of the prison industrial complex, they would be even getting them in trouble, charging them for doing that crime. Nope. They just get the one, oh, this is child molestation and all this because he's younger, underage. This stuff goes on just like people breaking gun laws and drug laws and all that. This has been going on forever. None of these laws work. The only thing that works is when you catch somebody committing a crime and you know they are committing a crime, and you can take them out the right way. True justice. You failed life. You created a victim. Bye. And now I won't get to be that one's victim. My child won't get to be that one's victim. My mom or if my dad was alive, wouldn't get to be that one's victim. One of your family members or you wouldn't get to be that one's victim. And possibly even injured this time. If it was a thief. One day they do get violent and they do accidentally put someone in the hospital or murder them. Because it is murder. They're in the wrong in the beginning. Same thing with all these people working as cops. When they're in the wrong, it don't matter if you see them as a cop. But the fact of the matter is, they're a human being. And they committed murder. And trying to get out of it with the excuse of, I'm a LEO, I'm a cop, I'm above the law. I can murder people. I can live Wild Wild West style policing. I can jump on the hood of a car just blah, 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 even though when I didn't need to. It really wasn't an emergency or whatever, a purpose to do so. But because I'm a cop, not a human being, something else. I'm something else. I'm not a human being. I'm something else. So you're to see me as something else, not as a human being. You don't see this as a human being. It don't look like a human being. It's in a different form. That person working as a cop is in a different form. It's in a uniform to transform themselves into something else that doesn't get in trouble, has no one to answer to. Because we didn't create police. They did. The police are for them. To protect and serve them and their laws. Well, serve and protect them and their laws. Serve them. Protect their laws. Making sure the little children out there ain't breaking the rules. That they call laws, that they still call them rules too. If you listen to them, they say rules. Rules. They're breaking the rules. They're breaking the policies. They're breaking the regulations. They're breaking what we consider as laws. But they're not. None of them can create laws upon the people. The only thing they're supposed to be there for is invaders. That's it. People coming here with weapons to try to take this country over. That's all they should be there for. We're to have them. I mean, we're here to protect the public. From who? We were created to protect the public. From who? Everybody's the public. The criminals, everybody is the public. So they're supposed to say, we're here to protect the public from itself, each other, the people. That's what we're here for. to control the people as a public, as a group mentality. We'll put them in a group, and we the people, we'll put them in a group. I'm getting to where I don't want any of it. I'm by myself. I'm an individual. Leave me alone. Let me live my life. Do no harm to me. I will do the same for you. Leave me alone. But nobody's for that. None of y'all. All y'all auditors, frauditors, whatever. POSs. That's all y'all are to me. POSs. Because y'all are part of the problem. You're worshiping authoritarianism, a dictatorship. That's what y'all do. You're worshiping a dictatorship. A dictatorship is where people are controlled by laws. I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to do a whole separate thing for dictatorship. I'm going to do it better. Dictatorship. Give me the definition of a dictatorship. And then this is what dictators do. They create laws, they create policies, they create police, they create authority, and then they force the people under it. That's a dictatorship. You're going to be under our dictatorship through our police, LEOs. We created United States federal corporate LEOs to protect corporations. The incorporated state of X. And that's all the 50 states. They're incorporated. That's their job, to protect those incorporated states and the incorporated United States or federal United States city government in Washington, D.C. that sits outside of America. There's maps that show America. And then they'll show Washington, D.C. in the sea out beside America like it's separate. Like, Hawaii is over there. It is separate. But it was done the same way as America. Taken over and occupied. Same thing in Alaska. Taken over and occupied. They don't belong to America. They were taken over and occupied. Just like we're doing in these other countries. Going over there, sticking that flag in that soil when everybody says we don't stick our flag in other countries' soils. That's a damn lie. They take their, what's supposed to be our American flag, the Bessie Ross flag, which is not, and they stick it in the soil of another country where they put their military base. They take it over a piece of land, and that other would it be okay for another country to do that in our country? Come over here and take a piece of land and set their stuff up, say we're going to take charge and we're going to watch all over y'all. We're going to police all of y'all. We're going to make sure your master, your president is doing what's right. Is that what you want to be okay? Because if we can do it to them, they can do it to us. If we can go over there and interrupt their lives, stick our flags and everything, all of them, take a piece of property, stick our flags on there, that piece of property, it's no longer theirs, like they did with that country that starts with an I, ends with an L, has an R in the middle somewhere. They did the same thing. They all come from Russia. No, Germany. They all come from Germany. That's where they originated from. And they wanted them out of Germany. And so they finally found a place after, years of trying to find a place to put and create and put Israel and those people. And they gradually took a bunch of people over there, different times, gradually, and then got them all over there and created them their own country. Took over that piece of land that was called something else. Starts with a P. And it has the word Stein in it. There's old books on that. Guaranteed ChatGPT, there's old books on it. You can't tell me it don't exist. It didn't exist before Israel. It never existed. And you don't have to tell. Yes, there is books. If you have to, you look for those books and you get the names of them and you give them to ChatGPT and he'll pull them up and go, oh, okay, you're right. Same thing with Tartaria. Their maps still, their books that has Tartaria in it, in them. Those still exist. They can pull it up. Everything's in the computers. Anything you think of, you have doubts on, you can look up real easy and find out about. You got the extra information from other people, and you just say, "Well, I need to find out about this," and does any of this, and you make a list, pertain to this. Because you got to give it stuff, or it ain't gonna give you what you want or what you need to know. It don't work like you think. You want to find out something, you need to make sure. Well, instead of, when there wasn't this, you had to go to books. And you had to search through the library to find whatever section. Then you got to search through all the books to find a book that pretty much pertains to what you're thinking of, you want to know about. Now it's easier. Magic, right at your fingertips. 1 hour to find out everything. If you wanted to go through my stuff and just look at all at 1 hour, wow, out of your whole entire narcissistic life. For those who just don't believe or just want to make fun of people like me and just want us to believe this stuff that it's all imaginary and stupid. It's imaginary world, king of the hill. That's what everybody's living. I'm king of the hill now. I got my president in. And now you're going to be forced to do what my president wants and we want. King of the hill. Tug of rope. Here, come over to us. No, come over to us. Republicans, Democrats. Come on. Yeah, this way. Your rope being played with. The raggedy doll, two kids are fighting over the voters. They're fighting over the voters. Come on, over here, no, over here. And they're both doing the same thing, saying the same things in different ways, and they all mean the same thing. And they all work together to make sure there's enough people voting to keep them all existing as they are. That's what you all don't get. You're toys. You're being played with. You're being manipulated. The contrarian. You're all being manipulated. If I was all you, I'd get out of it. Or if you all was me, you would get out of it if you knew what I knew. This ain't going to work for you. There's no voting your way out of it. There's only, I'm creating this, or I'm getting it from somebody else, and I want to send all this to all. Because if everybody did that, start sending that stuff to them, and an affidavit of notice, I will not comply. My obedience and allegiance is to God. Affidavit of notice, I will not comply. My obedience and allegiance is to God. Thy Father, or is to thy Father who art in heaven. And then you get it to put in the King James scriptures. That goes against man ruling over you with laws and rules and crap. Obedience is to God what is it? Obedience to God is rebellion against slavery, rebellion against evil. That's what we're under. We're under slavery. We're under evil. Look how bad it is. This is hell. Y'all don't want to see it. You don't want to fight. And you don't want to help in the fight. You help me, I can help you. We can all get out of this. But nobody wants out of it. Everybody wants to bow down to a king. And there would soon to be Lord King Trump. God's chosen one, the Messiah. He called himself the Messiah one time. Even Israel, they called him their Messiah. And that's the ones that come up with that when the Messiah comes. Well, he's here. He's Trump. He's pushing for Israel more than any other president. Oh, hail Trump! Oh, hail Trump! You can do no wrong. Oh, hail Trump! I bow to you to save us. Oh, hail Trump! I won't turn my allegiance and my obedience to God. And then God will maybe make it better. Or just turn it to myself. My allegiance and my obedience is to myself. To take care of myself. To provide for myself. To do what I want. Live how I want. Be with whoever I want. Put whatever I want in my body. On my body. And be left alone. Left alone. And I'm happy. You know, life. Freedom. And the right to pursuit of happiness, which means I have the right to do whatever I want in my pursuit to make me happy. And then somebody else is going to interrupt, come into my life, my space, and say, I can't do that. Just like if you all wouldn't have liked it, if I could be able to come into your space, interrupt your life, and stop you from what you want to do that's making you happy right now, you wouldn't like it. Why are you trying to do it to me? Why are you happy at being a demon? Something that's bad, something that's evil. When just being nice, being good, being, yeah, you know, he ain't hurt no one, she ain't hurt no one, leave him alone. It's the way the world's supposed to work. And it don't. And it's because of all the voters and all those are for authoritarianism, statism, fascism, democracy, dictatorships, leaders. It'll never end until we end having leaders. Someone wants to know something, they can ask you a question, you can tell them whatever, and then they take what they can with that and do what they can to improve their lives with it. Teach them something, they can go off. You're not their leader. No, you're not their leader. You taught them something, they're by themselves again. Oh, I don't know how to fish. So I can have fish when I want fish. Well, here, I'll teach you how to use lures so you can be able to fish. Then you don't need me no more. I'm out of your life. I'm not bothering you and forcing you to do anything else. Forcing you to make sure you're doing it my way. No, because you can change it up. You can do things different. Your stuff. Your property. It's my property. I can do what I want with it. Why bother me? How is it hurting anyone not having a driver's license? Tell me. How does it hurt someone out there when I'm on the road not having a driver's license? Just not having a driver's license. How is that hurting someone? How is that creating a victim? How is that putting anyone in danger on the roads? Just not having a driver's license. I'm not trained to be safe on those roads, completely. We're just taught to make sure to use your blinkers, at the right time, before you turn. Use your mirrors. Have both hands on the wheel. And keep your eyes forward. That's it. How is that being trained to be safe on the highways and stuff? Your parents could teach you that. You don't need these other idiots to teach you all that. You'll learn eventually how to be safe. What do you think you got brakes for on a vehicle so you can be safe? Urge! You don't hit someone. And learn how to use those brakes where you ain't smashing on them. But most cars nowadays, you can't smash. I mean, you can smash on them. But they do what I do in an older vehicle. I ease on them brakes. I don't just slam on them. But the new ones now today, they do it kind of like that, but they do it so fast. But it's like it's slow, mashing on the brake pedal easy, rather than just a quick. You still slide into them and all that. Because I've had it a couple of times one time where I did that, and I was right there, probably about that close to their bumper, their back bumper. I mean, I know I was right there, real close, and it was an old van, 80-something van. 84 or 82. An old van. So that's the one thing, especially those old vehicles, you don't slam on them brakes, they'll lock up. The newer vehicles, they won't. You can just slam on the brakes and they'll just, they'll do their thing. All computerized. I think they need to get rid of all that stuff anyways. People just need to learn how to use the brakes. Emergency brake, you can click that thing, click, 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 slow down, without going, I'm trying to stop. I mean, they don't properly, fully, and completely train you. They just do a little bit enough and then say, okay, good enough, and then you're out, you got a license, and they're making money, and because they want that money. They don't want to make it, extremely hard to where you can't get a license. So they ain't making a lot of money. And where really it shouldn't be hard at all. I mean, they're still losing a lot of money with the way they got it, with the way they're running it. Oh, I found there's something called exempt plates. Means you don't need registration, you don't need driver license because you're not using it for profit. So I'm going to look into that. So if I have to have their plates, I'll get exempt plates. And I won't have to pay for registration. I won't have to worry about that. I won't have to have a driver license because I'm not using it for profit as a commercial vehicle. Tied to a commercial corporation. That's, corporation. They're all corporation. All commercial businesses are corporations. They have a license, a corporate license, to incorporate them. To be under that incorporated system. 1913 was the beginning of the end of the United States of America, as known as the home of the brave. Was it land of the free, home of the brave? Because in 1921, after they gained control of the economy through their fiat money they created to be used in the economy, they control that money. And they control interest rates, They control all that stuff. And then they can say, we'll jack up interest rates and all this other crap. And we'll crash the economy. And then we'll create jobs and all this other crap. And then we'll have them all working off of us and depending upon us. That's how it started. I got ChatGPT to kind of admit that. So it just says it might have played a part in it. More than likely. Because I was wondering, how can the economy crash? Weren't they on gold and silver? And then I got to think, wait a minute, 1929, 1930, 1913. That's before that. And then you got to create the fiat money to place everybody on it, which gives them the control of the economy, because the economy is based through money, period. Without it, there's no economy based upon money. And that's how they got everybody to depend upon the government, to need the government, to have socialism. Social Security is socialism. What's them others? There's Social Security. There's another one you pay for. The Social Security is actually attached to the Health and Human Services. So when you get Social Security, that's part of the benefit system. Everything's attached to the Health and Human Services. Military, everything. So, and that's what they use to attach everybody and everything to the fiat money created to create socialism. You're all fascists. You're for socialism. I would like my brother, to get his food stamps. He can't work. He has seizures. But I'd rather all this crap end. I'd rather police disappear. I'd rather go back to 1776, before the Civil War, when there were no cops. There weren't any, only for slaves. They were called slave catchers. And then later they turned them into sheriffs. I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all take care. Bye.